Hey, Luke, how do you find good staff?
Be a good employer. Duh. Let's talk about it on this episode right now. Welcome back to another episode of the Williford Brothers. We are your hosts, Luke and
Lee Williford.
Today we're going to talk about how do you find good staff? How do we find good staff? How do companies find good staff? A lot of people watching are like, yes, I want to know how to find good staff because I have turnover in my laundromat every week. I can't keep anybody good. You may have heard me say, be a good employer.
Yes.
That's how you attract and retain good staff members. That's not always easy. Nobody wants to look in the mirror. When we have staff turnover, I go and I say, why? I look in the mirror and say, why did they leave us? Why? But we've been able to create a company culture.
That's right.
That really keeps people.
Yep. So how do we create a good company culture? I think you have to, number one, treat people with dignity and respect. And I think when you see someone as a family member, we're a small family business. That's the way we operate. It's genuine. We can't get away from it. That's how we were raised. And so fortunately for us, that's just the world that we know, to treat people with dignity and respect, to treat them like family members, created in the image of God.
Yes.
And then it's hard to really not create an environment and a culture where people feel welcomed and appreciated and respected, and then in turn they treat your customers that way. So it's hard to find those people because you're most likely looking in the wrong places. One thing that we try to do is to hire customers, people who are familiar with our method of operating, the way that we are, our brand, and who are also familiar with the laundromat itself, because they've been coming there weeks, months, years, and maybe they work at a job that isn't offering enough hours or enough pay per hour, and so they turn to us, and here we are. We offer 40 hours a week. We offer 150% of minimum wage, and you tell people that, and it all of a sudden becomes attractive. And then they start getting involved with things like our annual or our spring get-together, and then our annual family Christmas party, which is a lot of fun. Everybody who comes to the Christmas party stays.
That's true. If you don't make it to our Christmas party, which is pretty much mandatory, it is proven that you don't end up staying with us. And the only people that don't come are people who've been hired that year and have never experienced a Christmas party, because we throw a Christmas party. We give so many gifts away.
Oh, man.
And
that's awesome.
We have a blast.
That's part of our culture. So here we are looking for staff members. We have a great team of people who are charged with interviewing, going through applications, interviewing, and ultimately hiring those folks. So how they do that, I feel like have been able to teach them exactly how to do that, what we're looking for. What you don't want to do is just plug a hole and hope that the plug stays in there. The old advice is hire slow, fire fast.
Absolutely.
And that works two ways. Hiring slow, you're more likely to get somebody who you're going to retain. And when you fire fast, you cut the cancer out. Your other people see it. They respect that. And then they appreciate, they appreciate you as the boss or as the manager maintaining the culture that you were striving for. And your existing employees really appreciate that. And we have the best staff on the face of the earth.
Yes.
I mean, we could go through all of their names, and I would probably cry doing it like we do at the Christmas party. Yeah. But they are there every day in and day out, serving our customers. And there are people out there who are doing that in other businesses. Do like Luke did. Print a little card, put your name on it, say we're always looking for good people, and slip it to a waitress who's working at the diner around the corner. And before you know it, she might say, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. He was pretty nice. I've been in the laundromat. It's clean.
And for us, the cancer, anybody who's not got your core values, doesn't exemplify, doesn't deliver an excellent customer experience, do not care. They're on their phone. They're in the back room. They don't last with us. They stick out like a sore thumb. Our regional guys who go around, they report it to me or our office admin, and then I go and handle it. And they are no longer with us. They either get an adjustment very quick, and one thing I do now is I put it on paper. The warning, I put it on paper. I sit it in front of them. I don't verbalize it. I put it on paper. They sign it. I sign it.
And in their native tongue, too. We were able, if it's Spanish, have it translated. That way they truly understand it.
And a lot of times it lets them digest, and it forces them to look in the mirror and say, I haven't been treating my fellow staff members with dignity and respect. I have not been treating customers the way I was trained originally. And you may be watching and you're saying, well, I don't have somebody to train and onboard new staff. We didn't either. So we got to this point.
You're looking at them.
Yeah. So we did those interviews. We did it every wrong way you can do it. So we're not coming at you like, yes, we figured it out now. We have systems that scale. But we learned through trial and error. So it was called, and what I started to do probably 6-7 years ago is have about 10 people lined up to interview. 6 will show up. Now it's probably more like 4 will show up. And then you go from those 4 and hope you get 1 out of the 4. And then once you bring them on, you make them feel like $1 million, and that's what we all want, is to be made to feel important. You keep checking up on them. You continuously, and then you have a mid-year party where we all get together and they get to see, hey, I'm not just this laundromat. I'm a part of something bigger than myself. And we all want to be that. I want to be that. Our company is much bigger than me, much bigger than you. So they start to say, man, I'm on a big team with a lot of people because they go to this party. I know one of our subcontractors, Mr. Wimberly with Wimberly Electric, he said, Luke, I was blown away by the Christmas party. So his first year making it, we invite all our subcontractors to come and anybody involved with our business. And he was just blown away. He was like, my wife and I could not believe it. And
totally unexpected that we'd have 150, 160 people at a Christmas party with smiling staff.
Give away lots of gifts, a flight across the country, all sorts of things, bonuses and whatnot. We're grateful to get there, but I mean, it's biblical. Faithful with the small, he'll trust you with the great. And you may say, I have 1,000 square foot laundromat and I'm watching this. Well, treat that 1,000 square foot laundromat like it is the royal palace, and God will go before you and open doors. But if there's junk behind yours, if you haven't cleaned behind them, if there's panels off the back of the dryers right now at your store and that's hitting you, we don't have a screw missing anywhere. And that's the only way you get to scale. And you can't overlook things. The little things are the big things. And even in hiring, the little things are the big things. Get to know your staff. I strive to know all their names and all their children's names. It's very tough, especially now. And then we check up on them weekly. We've got a customer. What's Miss Patricia's title?
Customer service manager.
Customer service manager, but she also checks in with our staff. So she's the customer service manager, but to deliver the customer service that she is supposed to manage, she has to make sure that our staff are delivering that.
That's right.
So she calls in, she checks, hey, what's going on in your life? It's not just about business. She says, how are things? How are your kids? She asks them by name. She sends them flowers for their birthdays, gift cards for, flowers for a loss in the family if we found out somebody's had a loss in the family. So it's the little things, and those things don't cost a whole lot. If you've just got 1 or 2 or 3 employees, it's going to be a lot easier for you. Hey, get to know them. Sit down and have a 20-minute conversation like, what are your dreams in life? What are your goals? And a lot of times they're not looking to become the next, celebrity.
Elon Musk.
They're actually content. And let them know that you'd like for this to be a career for them and not just a job that they work. And then that's why on the interview process, I'm not looking for people who are just wanting a summer job. That's not us. We don't have that. You can come intern with us, but we don't
need a
have
girlfriend.
That. We do not have that on our team. And then making sure everybody's productive. So when I hire, I let them know, hey, I'm hiring you to solve problems, not to create more problems. Okay, we're going to train you. There's going to be some training to that, but you're going to be a problem solver. I'm a glorified firefighter. I'm going to train you to be a glorified firefighter. A lot of these tasks are mundane for a store manager because they're repeated. Even regional techs, it's mundane to change diaphragms or dump valves. But, hey, it is what it is, and your check's going to be there. And I think one of the huge things that we do is the 40 hours a week. So a long time ago, we realized let's have less staff and all full-time, okay, and all on the books and all that good stuff, because in our industry, you're probably listening, there's all sorts of way people are
atypical.
paid. Yeah. And it's everywhere. I travel the country consulting with different owners, and we go in markets, and I'm like, this is just like the laundries we take over. It's because owners follow the path of least resistance. You know, they just hire somebody to come in the morning, sweep up. They come in the evening, sweep up, and then they just stay on coins, and they don't change their VIN prices, and they don't invest in their staff, and they don't even buy them T-shirts. So nobody even knows who there is.
Create a brand, put it on a T-shirt, and put it on your employees.
Yes.
Your staff members.
I think say that again.
Yeah. Create a brand, put it on a T-shirt, and give your T-shirts to your staff members.
Wow.
Beautiful. If you've got one staff member or 100, If you've got 100, you're probably doing it. But if you're not, you need to do it.
Speaking of T-shirts, I've got my Jesus
like
and Coffee T-shirt on today. Podcast people can't see that, but YouTube can. Those are two great things I depend on daily.
Yes.
Jesus and coffee.
I'm off coffee right now, so I'm kind of drooling over here.
Since Lee's been off coffee, I feel like I've spoke more about coffee, and I promise it's not intentional, but even in our just hanging out on a daily basis.
Yes. So
go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking of is we've talked about it, training. There are things that you will train your staff members to be able to do. We have a customer service manager who trains our staff in one of our laundromats, and people learn the lingo. They learn how a washer works, a dryer works, how to mop the floor like we want to put out wet floor signs. Those things you can teach people. There are also things that you cannot teach people. If you are hiring someone who is unkind, who refuses to speak to anyone, and who just has a sour outlook on life, that person will never be the kind person that you want interacting with your customers and even cleaning your laundromat. So make sure that you hire someone with the life skills that you cannot teach, so that you can bring that person in and teach them to do more technical, industry-specific stuff. And the best way to do that is to find someone who is working somewhere, McDonald's or at Walmart, because they're the person walking around smiling, looking like they're having a nice day with the Walmart tag on, and say, hey, if you're ever interested in doing something different where your boss knows your name, you're not just one of 100,000 people, let me know. This is my telephone number. This is what I do. And before you know it, you've got a team of pretty nice, well-respected, and people who treat other people with respect team. And that not only will serve your customers well, it also speaks pretty highly of you. I think that's something that we as owners and operators take pride in, is knowing that we have a team that, as we serve almost 15,000 people a week, our folks in the field are doing it at an excellent level, one that goes beyond what our industry norm is. And so we take a lot of pride in being able to do that. But it starts with noticing those type of skills that you cannot train, but that are just innate with someone, and then bringing that person into your team and treating them like family, paying them appropriately. And that looks different from Arkansas all the way up to Seattle, Washington. You might have a citywide, statewide minimum wage, and you've got to work within that. But you can also exceed that because the cost of living is probably a little bit higher. You're charging higher prices. So stay within a reasonable amount of pay per hour, but go above and beyond the minimum. Like we talk all the time, the path of least resistance. Don't follow the path of least resistance. Do something extreme, not only just some one-time signing bonus, but say, you know what? I'm going to pay you $15 an hour because nobody in this area is going to pay $15 an hour. But I am, because we've created this brand and we've created a great place to work with a lot of effort, and you're going to find yourself here in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And that's the goal.
Great. Yeah, one thing that I look for, and if you're taking notes, rewind and roll that back, because all that is very, very, this information is great if you'll take it and use it. But one thing that I found that my father always told me is 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months. So if somebody's with you 7 days, you can find out if they can capably do the job. 7 weeks, they'll do it. They will do it. 7 months, you got them for life. And we try to get them to that life point and grow them throughout. We have different. Go ahead and classify each. We have different levels of staff members. Those who just come on are level 1, 2, 3, and we have pay ranges for each that we work with. But back to our original question, how do you find and retain good staff? Let's go back to the find, because somebody's watching, okay, I can pass out a card. I'm an introvert. I don't want to do that like Luke does or Lee does. So ways that we found, Lee loves a QR code. So in all of our stores, especially if we're hiring, we don't keep them up in all of our stores, but you can if you'd like, because I feel like now hiring says we're struggling with hiring. But I do put them up sometimes, and the QR code, they screenshot or they get their phone out, and it sends them straight to a Typeform application. Okay, it's very simple Typeform application. Again, that's typeform.com. Not paid by them, but typeform.com. You can create an account, create a Typeform application. QR code, where do you get the QR codes? There's
any QR code generator, and you can have that QR code drive to this Typeform that you're going to create, or directly to a telephone number where when somebody calls in, they say, hey, I saw this sign that said you're looking for somebody.
And that's one of the ways we've got our customers, because now we've got the Typeform in the store. And we take rolling applications on our website. We've got a tab that says careers, and it rolls and it shows you which areas we're actually hiring immediately and then where we take rolling applications. So we always have a ton, hundreds and hundreds of applications. And we also, if we really need somebody, we send a text out to our existing staff. And you may be watching, if I sent that to my existing staff, they would not recommend to work for me. Well, we do the opposite. So all of our staff like working with us, or we hope they do. If not, let's talk about it with our staff. And so they share it with their friends, share it with their family. We use Indeed, we use Facebook, we use newspapers. So there's no perfect remedy. Just do something.
Yes.
They're not going to fall from the sky. Just like your wife didn't fall from the sky. If you want a good staff member, you're going to have to court them a little bit. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to, and we don't do Craigslist. We don't take people who are not working and turn them into workers. That just doesn't happen. The odds of that are so low. It's a statistics game. We want to give ourselves the best chance at success at finding somebody long term. And if somebody's been laying on the couch for 2 years and they want to come work with you, that's great, but it's not going to work because they're used to laying on the couch. It's going to be
chronically unemployed, which you're not going to change that.
But if they've been working over at Taco Bell alongside and they can prove some history of working, man, now that's a resume I want to see. That's somebody, they've been working in the kitchen alongside 8 other people, and they've been working 40 hours or 30 hours a week for 3 years. You know that person's dependable. That tells me a lot about that person. And that's who we want. That's who we'll pay a few dollars more, and because we know they're coming in. It's almost like a college degree for some things. You've got a degree because you have a history.
Yes.
I love
You've
to
proven yourself in that small thing. Yes.
And if over the last 4 months on somebody's resume I see 4 different places, then I'm not interested.
They like to get around.
Yes. Yeah. I'm looking for somebody to land and be with us a really long time in any of the positions that we have. Get you a application out there. You can use QR codes, post them in your stores. Hey, we're hiring. Join the team. Have a brand. Don't let your brand be Coin Laundry. Don't let it be, just create a brand. Choose some colors.
Yeah.
Design it.
And that brand allows your staff members to associate themselves with it. So that's a cool thing. I mean, I remember back in the day when it was Google, it was like, Google didn't pay very well, but you worked at Google. who didn't want to work at Google. It was a cool thing.
Brands matter. You put a Starbucks on the corner, or you put Luke's Coffee Shop or Billy's Coffee Shop, the Starbucks is going to do 10x the revenue.
I'm going to put you out of business.
Why? Because it's Starbucks. I mean, they built a brand.
Mm-hmm.
They built a brand.
Yes.
You could serve just as good a coffee at Luke and Lee's Coffee Shop, but nobody knows Luke and Lee's Coffee Shop, because they built a brand.
They ever.
But if we did do a coffee shop, we would turn Luke and Lee's Coffee Shop. We would make it a brand. Our staff would be in it, and at least locally we'd know it.
Yes.
But you've got to have something. It wouldn't just be coffee shop,
Yep.
But brands matter. Your customers think something when they think of your business.
Mm-hmm.
So make them think something bright. Your employees,
Your staff
and
members
I hate
do too.
the employee word. We
Yeah.
use staff or team members. We don't
Mm-hmm.
use the E word. And they work with us, not for us. I think that's a big word we've changed.
Yeah.
And
those small things mean a lot.
change that when you go to hire somebody, they might say, I work for you. When people say that, I work for him or he's the boss, I said, no, you work with me.
That's right.
If that toilet's clogged, we're going to be down there unclogging it.
Shoulder to
together.
shoulder.
Yeah. And they
Yes.
know that. And that's the culture that you start to build. And that when you're not there and somebody talks bad, they're like, no, I've actually seen him in the muck. I mean, he'll outwork you, so you start to get that culture that you want. But you attract what you are. If you're a leader of a business, know that it's not the employee's fault. It's your fault. Take ownership. Look in the mirror. Say, I've got friends. I've got one recent who owns a landscaping company, good buddy of mine. And he said, I can't find it. I said, it's about you, man. I'm sorry, but it's about you. You've got to do whatever it takes. And you're right. Whatever business it is, if it takes a team of staff, you've got to be a good employer. Mm-hmm. And some of you guys who are wanting to own a business who've worked in corporate America, owning a business is different. It's a lot different than just
500.
getting a check and working for a big company and kind of hiding in the back room. It's on you then.
Yes.
The bills are on you financially, but also that culture's on you.
Yep.
That's why we talked about risk tolerance in a former episode.
Mm-hmm.
But even, it's on you, so. But your success, know that your success depends on it. Your laundry's not going to do, trust me, if we took over your store right now, I could brand it and I could make it do more revenue than it's doing right now for you.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. Challenge me. Somebody challenge me. I promise I can do that. So you've got to take ownership and you've got to brand it to whatever your brand is. Make sure it includes laundromat. Or add the S. That's what I want to be famous for when I die. And all laundromats across the country have an S on the end.
Plural.
It's going to be because they consulted with Luke, and he said add an S because we're prophesying multiple locations. Because nobody gets into this wanting to own one location. Never met anybody wanted to own one location. I want to own one first, but then I want to own 10 and 20.
Big dreams.
So anyway, I hope that helps on how do you find good staff.
Yeah.
And I think it's your staff are very reflective of your leadership.
Starts with you. Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
look for those intangible skills, good life skills, train them well, and create a culture that makes them stick and pay them well. And
check up with them. Be around. Be there as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't be there, hire somebody to be there to help with those things. Hire somebody to call them. Hire your wife to be, if it's a female, hire your wife to check in with them.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know them. If they speak another language than you, is their first language Spanish or another language?
Google Translate.
Yep. Google Translate. Write a paper. Or if you have bilingual staff, have them help you in those conversations. But make sure to have the conversations, truly care, and you're going to benefit, but don't just always do it for your benefit. There's going to be benefits come, but don't do it to get this outcome. The outcome will come.
Yes.
So, and your customers will see it because your staff members will be happy. Everybody who walks in, they think the person working there owns it, which I love, which is fine. As long as they're reflective of our core values and they're breathing positivity and they're shaking off any negativity, then I love that.
Yes.
And, we have a lot of those out there. We're very thankful.
One of the biggest compliments is when we come in and they say.
Went around before we got on. You were saying yesterday.
Oh yeah. I was in a store yesterday, one of our busiest stores down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and struck up a conversation with a customer who was folding and getting ready to leave, and introduced myself, and she asked me if I was an owner. I said, yes, I sure am. She was like, oh, these guys were in here. We had our regional managers there doing an annual service, and she said that they were just lauding over how much they enjoyed working for the Wash House brand. And so that was such a great compliment to know that these guys are in there working really hard. And she even used the word that they enjoy working with you. And I thought, that's great, because we do. We all work for our customers, but we work with each other as team members.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that answers the question that we asked.
Yes.
So please share with us what you got out of this. Go through, re-listen to it, write down notes. You know, there's no perfect way. Indeed, Facebook, all of those can work. I get many requests and DMs a lot of times. Well, which platform should I use? Well, it doesn't matter.
Use them all.
Don't forget to pray.
You're looking for one person. Yes.
Pray, because the Lord will put you in the right path to meet the right people. Get you a little card that you can hand out that shares, hey, you're a good staff member, want to come work with us. And then once you get them, to retain them, you got to be a good employer.
Yes.
And work alongside them as much as you can. And I think you'll go far because of it.
Yes.
You know, I know we couldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for our team.
We'd be out collecting quarters. Sweeping floors.
We probably would. But yeah, we have our team on the payment system side too. But it all, man, and it's fun. And it's fun when you don't do it alone.
If you're not having fun, you sell.
Want to go fast, go alone. Want to go far, go together.
Amen.
Bring some people
That's
along
good.
the way. You know, as you succeed, want them to succeed. You know, everybody. I look at Chris, who's doing our media and our film for this. You know, it's about him too. You know, he's able to do that. We didn't know how to set up mics or whatnot. It's about creating a team, and our electrician, our plumber. You know, all of those people. We're all on the same team. You know, and when we can give other people opportunities, like our staff, it's a
lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. And it's not about any one person. It's about a team and a brand. And for us, that's the Wash House Laundromats. And here in North Carolina, if you type in laundromat, the Wash House better come up first.
Yes.
We stay trying to make that happen. But thank you guys for watching and listening. Please share this. You know, like, subscribe, and let us know what you want to hear about next. You know, we're always looking for show topics, and we're out to serve you guys. We hope this answered a lot of your questions about staffing, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Right.